I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated.
It's confirmed. The Indiana Fever are a fundamentally different team than they were mere months ago. What began as quiet locker room whispers has erupted into a complete franchise overhaul. Head coach Stephanie White has reportedly resigned or was forced out, depending on the sort, and her replacement, a name that commands more respect than nearly anyone in the history of women's basketball, Cheryl Miller. Yes, the very woman who laid the groundwork for greatness in the sport, and the sister of Pacers icon Reggie Miller, is tied to a return no one anticipated. The Fever are billing this as a new beginning, but let's be clear. This is a tectonic shift in power, the type that can redirect the trajectory of the entire league. Because when a towering figure like Cheryl Miller arrives to coach CaitlinClark, the game changes entirely on the court, in the locker room, and within the league's front office. Let's explore how this unfolded, how Stephanie White lost control of the team, how Clark's escalating influence changed the Fever, and why Cheryl Miller may be the sole person with enough authority to fix it.
One of the best that's ever played the game. So I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun. Like, I called her coach and she was like, I don't know about that yet. You'll have to see how I do during the game.
This wasn't a sudden collapse. For months, the connection between Stephanie White and her roster had been quietly souring. Initially, it looked like standard growing pains. A seasoned coach guiding a young squad through the media whirlwind, accompanying CaitlinClark's debut. But as the Fever's contest became primetime television, the pressure mounted. Every possession, every strategy session, every sideline exchange was scrutinized by cameras and online critics. White's coaching philosophy, disciplined and traditional, collided with Clark's improvisational brilliance. White demanded structure and precision. Clark needed the freedom to create and lead in her own style. The tension became palpable to the players. During one practice, sources claim, things became heated. White allegedly told Clark, "You're not at Iowa anymore. This is the pros now." The gym fell silent. That remark, intentional or not, circulated quickly. Soon, the roster began taking side. By the halfway point of the season, insiders depicted the Fever's locker room as utterly divided.
Watch that play where she didn't pass Kelsey the ball after Coach Stephanie White benched her for having a few turnovers in a row. That would have been a momentum shift in the game. That actually looked like it could have been a wide open pass, and it's something that Caitlin does on the regular.
One half of the team supported White's leadership. The other half deferred to Clark. When a superstar's sway eclipses the coach's command, the outcome is predetermined. It was never a matter of if, but when. Behind the scenes, owner Steve Simon was enraged. He had invested years rebuilding the organization, financially, culturally, and strategically. For a singular moment like CaitlinClark's arrival, she was more than a draft selection. She was a phenomenon. Team merchandise flew off the shelves. Viewership numbers were obliterated. The Fever were instantly the new face of the WNBA, but the headlines were growing negative. Chatter about locker room discord, conflicts between the coach and superstar, and rumors that Clark's team wanted new leadership. Simon allegedly held several emergency meetings with his executive staff. He wasn't interested in excuses. He wanted to regain control. As one front office source stated bluntly, Steve wasn't planning another rebuild. He was planning a dynasty. You can't achieve that when your coach and your star are vying for the same crown.
I've definitely been giving the benefit of the doubt this entire season. I just would hate to see some of the things that make Caitlin Caitlin, the things that fans love the most about Caitlin, be coached out of her. Those risky passes, the 10 turnovers, it might just happen sometimes with Caitlin because that's the style.
Simon had two paths: reaffirm his coach's position or give the franchise keys to his superstar. In a league driven by star power and marketability, the decision was straightforward. In a matter of days, Stephanie White's fate in Indiana was determined. The official statement from the Fever described it as a mutual parting. In private, the reality was clear. Stephanie White had lost the team. The front office reportedly gave her the option to resign with dignity, thus avoiding the fired headline. She took it. but the emotions remained raw. White's last meeting with her players was reportedly tense yet civil. She expressed gratitude for their effort, encouraged them to maintain their self-belief, and left without a backward glance. The real sting was knowing her successor wasn't just another coach. It was Cheryl Miller, a name so powerful it could instantly overshadow everything she had constructed. A Fever staff member encapsulated it perfectly. Stephanie laid the foundation, but Cheryl is the earthquake. The second Cheryl Miller's name surfaced in the media, the internet ignited. Social media platforms were frenzied. Comment threads were dominated by a single query: is Cheryl actually returning? This was far more than a typical coaching rumor. This was a legend re-entering the sport she helped to build. We must recall who we are discussing: a Naismith Hall of Famer, an Olympic gold medalist, and one of history's most commanding college players. Not to mention, the older sister of Reggie Miller, the Prince of Indiana basketball. She has coached previously at USC and in the WNBA, but had been absent from the sidelines for years, concentrating on her broadcasting and mentorship roles. So why return now? Sources close to the team report that Miller was contacted directly by Steve Simon. He needed more than a coach. He needed a figurehead who could earn CaitlinClark's immediate respect. And according to an insider, Miller's response left everyone in awe.
Now, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, and look, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason. And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
She reportedly told them, "If I accept this position, I'm not here to coddle a superstar. I'm here to forge a champion." That one statement became an online rallying cry. It's intense, it's bold, it's quintessential Cheryl Miller, and it is precisely what Indiana required. As word of Miller's potential hiring spread, attention shifted to CaitlinClark. Was she the catalyst? Did her team advocate for this? Publicly, Clark was quiet. No social media posts, no statements, no interviews. But privately, sources claim she was thrilled and energized. Clark was raised idolizing pioneers like Miller, Lisa Leslie, and Diana Taurasi, who paved the way for modern women's basketball. Being coached by one of them would bring her journey full circle.
And the brand of basketball that Caitlin plays. And to be honest, it's a brand of basketball that we haven't really seen in the women's game.
In an interview several months prior, Clark had said, "I watched Cheryl Miller's highlights as a child. She played as if she owned the entire court. That's the confidence I also try to embody." That remark now seems prophetic. When sources leaked that Clark had privately approved of Miller's hiring, Fever fans erupted with excitement. Tweets poured in. Clark and Miller, Indiana basketball royalty together. This is the move that will change it all. For Clark, this wasn't a power play. It was about mentorship and the unique opportunity to learn from someone who has walked the same path. However, not everyone is celebrating. Some Fever veterans, players who developed under White for years, reportedly felt blindsided. They considered her a mentor, a steadying force who fostered their development. Now they're being told their hard work is being reset. An anonymous player allegedly told a journalist, "It feels like this is Caitlin's team now. The rest of us are just characters in her story." The words are sharp, but they're honest. The atmosphere in Indiana has been completely altered. This is no longer a team in reconstruction. It's a global brand, and that brings friction. Miller's role will extend beyond coaching. It will involve managing personalities, restoring trust, and demonstrating that she is more than just a big-name hire. But if anyone is equipped for that challenge, it is her. She is known for her brutal fairness. She will push Clark just as fiercely as she pushes the last player on the bench. That may be the formula for reuniting this roster. There's a poetic quality to this move as well. Indiana has long been Reggie Miller's territory, his historic career, his legacy, his devotion to the Pacers. Now decades on, his sister could become the new soul of Indiana basketball. Picture it, both Millers guiding Indiana basketball into a new age. One for the men's team, one for the women's. The fans adore it, the media adores it. And Steve Simon, he's a step ahead. This is more than basketball, it's narrative, and the WNBA has yearned for stories like this. Reggie is already adding to the excitement. Following the news, he posted a cryptic message: "She's back, Indiana, you have no idea what's coming. That single post garnered millions of impressions in hours. The Miller name is once again echoing in the arena. It feels like destiny. Rest assured, this move extends far beyond the Fever. The entire WNBA will experience the aftershocks. Cheryl Miller's return lends immediate gravitas to the league's coaching community. We're talking about a founding mother of the game returning precisely as women's basketball is experiencing an unprecedented surge in popularity. Television networks are already predicting the potential ratings boost. ESPN commentators are hailing it as a masterful combination of marketing and basketball strategy. Sponsors are thrilled. Fans are thrilled. Even naysayers concede that the WNBA hasn't had a coaching story of this magnitude in a long time. What amplifies the fascination is who she'll be coaching. CaitlinClark is not just another first-year player, she's a media conglomerate. Her endorsement portfolio, her social influence, her public profile, all are unparalleled. Placing her under Cheryl Miller's tutelage crafts the perfect story, the trailblazer mentoring the prodigy. It's momentous, it's symbolic, and it's pure box office gold. But let's be realistic, this decision carries significant risks. Cheryl Miller is from the old school. She is direct and doesn't mince words. She demands flawlessness. CaitlinClark is passionate, intense, and vocal. Their strong personalities could just as easily clash as they could harmonize. If this partnership succeeds, the Fever could become a juggernaut, a disciplined, driven, and unstoppable team. But if it implodes, it could devolve into another media spectacle. Viewers will scrutinize every timeout, every interaction, every camera shot. Was Cheryl too harsh? Did Caitlin show defiance? Is there friction? It will all be fodder for content. That kind of pressure can fracture even the strongest team. This is the tightrope Indiana must walk, either greatness or a meltdown, with no in-between. So what will Cheryl Miller specifically bring to this team? Anticipate a return to old-school principles, defense, intensity, and accountability. She operates on a system of earned minutes, not entitlement. She will push Clark to be a vocal leader, not just a statistical one. And she will challenge players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell to claim their own space, not just exist in Clark's orbit. This approach could redefine the Fever's identity from CaitlinClark's team to a legitimate championship contender. An assistant coach who previously worked with Miller said, "Cheryl doesn't coach for you to like her, she coaches for you to be great." That is precisely the brand of leadership Indiana has been lacking. This single move shapes three distinct legacies. For Stephanie White, the outcome is bittersweet. She stabilized a franchise only to be succeeded by a living icon. For Cheryl Miller, it is an opportunity for a triumphant return, a chance to prove she can still command respect in the modern era. And for CaitlinClark, it represents the next stage of her evolution, from viral sensation to a true professional leader. If this alliance thrives, it could propel women's basketball to unprecedented heights. If it falters, it will be analyzed and debated for decades. In any case, history is being made right now in Indiana. When Cheryl Miller walks back onto that court, assuming the reports are accurate, the roar inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse will be more than just applause. It will be pure electricity. This is bigger than a coaching change. It's a declaration. The Fever are finished with being the underdog. They are finished with being a work in progress. They are poised to dominate with a Hall of Fame intellect on the sideline and a generational talent on the court. Stephanie White walked so this moment could happen. And now, Cheryl Miller and CaitlinClark are poised to run. Welcome to Indiana's new age. Welcome to the Miller-Clark dynasty. And if it truly materializes, the WNBA will be forever changed. Do you believe Cheryl Miller is the ideal coach to help CaitlinClark reach her maximum potential? Or is this another front office risk destined to fail? Share your opinions below. And if you're excited for this new Fever era, post Dynasty mode in the comments to voice your support.